Hey, Jules Bless Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. Happy Halloween. Wait, what? Thanksgiving. Christmas? I'll get there. Oh yeah, 4th of July. Yay. Happy 4th of July. That's how I feel. I mean, I know technically this pandemic is coming to an end, but I just have no sense of time. I cannot believe it's already the 4th of July. Like, wait, what? Oh my gosh, so interesting. Anyway, I hope it's a blessing for you. It's quite different for me than when I was little. As a child, it was so exciting. My father loved fireworks, and he'd buy those huge boxes full of all the fun. And it was so exciting to have our own sparkler and those little weird snake ones. And it was just all so fantastic. And lots of watermelon, which I absolutely loved. And then when I was in my teens, we would go out on the boat and we would watch the fireworks, like at the Queen Mary and stuff, which was totally beautiful and lovely. And then in my early years of marriage, we would often go to like Disneyland and watch the fireworks. What's unfortunate, and yes, I'm going to totally get to my familial tremor, so stick around if you're here for that. What's unfortunate to me is that much like all of the holidays running together in this pandemic, it seems like nothing is as special anymore because everything, like the way that we have year-round stores, right? So like every holiday can be found in the party stores. Foods that used to be unique to a specific holiday are available at all times. Fireworks, they're not yearly at Disneyland. They're every single night in the summer, So it's just not quite, to me, as magical as it once was. Many things have become common, and I'm sorry for that. For me, I've had animals for about 10 years now, a bunch of animals for about 10 years now. So a lot of the 4th of July is me protecting my animals. Some of them who drool and have anxiety and are scared to death the whole night. Making sure that no fireworks land on my barn. I've literally had like burn marks the next day. And, people shoot bullets into the air. What, they don't expect them to come back down? They bomb those 180s. It's pretty dramatic. And I'll be praying for animals, for children, and definitely for vets. Because some of our veterans with PTSD and stuff can't stand it either. So I would prefer that people go and watch a controlled show. And I certainly find them just as beautiful on TV if I just turn the lights off. So I'll stick with that. But anyway, yes, I've been talking about all of the different ways my body is healed being plant-based vegan. And this past week, I've talked about everything from migraines to my kidney disease, to my acid reflux, oh my, most certainly, to my asthma. And now I'm talking about the familial tremor. And the familial tremor, some people refer to it as an essential tremor, and it tends to run in the family. And it is literally just the shaking, often in the hands. It can be in other parts. My sister Monica has it in her head a little bit, kind of like Katharine Hepburn had. People confuse it with Parkinson's, but it's not the same as Parkinson's. Anyway, so from about, even as a child, I had a bit of a shake, 5th grade. Seriously, about 5th grade. And again, kind of like the way manic depression ran in my family, it kind of just skipped around. Some grandkids, some nieces and nephews, some siblings. It just skipped around. We didn't all get it by any means, and some got it worse. So I think at one point I was on Topomax, and Topomax, when they say that a doctor has a practice, they ain't playing, meaning they practice on everybody, and they assign so many different drugs. And like I said, I was on 8 at one time, and serious heavy duty drugs. They assign so many that it's hard to discern which drug is serving what. Like they're just hoping that if they give enough, they might tap into what the problem is. And so even when I look at Topomax, I'm thinking, am I remembering it right? because it has so many things that it supposedly helps with. And the other one was Topiramate. And Topiramate was another drug that they had me on for a while. So with Topomax, what does it treat? It says alcoholism. Did I have that? Guilty as charged. Essential tremor, which is the same thing. Familial, yes. Migraine, hello. Binge eating disorder, what's up, y'all? You know what I mean? But technically, it's for things like seizures, epilepsy, which all suggest that it has things to do with controlling, the spinal cord and everything to do with being able to control our body functions, right? I am so grateful, people. Hello? What tremor? What? That's a no. Any student who knew me for a few years there who would literally say, Miss McCants, are you okay? Miss McCants, do you need me to hold your pencil for you? I mean, it was so bad. Oh my gosh. And I just couldn't stand giving my power away because I'd be in meetings and I'd be being reprimanded. And of course, anyone would have adrenaline and maybe even be a little nervous in a circumstance like that. But unfortunately, my body would just completely react. And I didn't want those people to think that I had fear over what they were saying or doing. And yet I couldn't help but give my power away. That's probably what I hated the most about having to deal with a essential or familial tremor. All right, so how did my plant-based diet work or help? I love that you're asking. Well, it turns out that plant-based in general, when you eat fruit, vegetables, right? Plant-based fats, which is my whole game, is really high in magnesium. And magnesium is something that directly affects the nervous system. And so I had started, again, kind of coincidentally, certainly by God's grace, I had started taking magnesium already because I was aware that it helped with the nervous system to some extent. The beauty of it in wanting to get off all things, and there are a couple of supplements that I will continue to use, and I will use them at different times when I feel that I may need them. But in getting off all things, I did what's called the chronometer. And the chronometer is just a way to track your food. And when you put your food, it's a free app, look it up. And when you put your food in, it gives you an idea of everything from micros and macros to the different, calories, nutrients, everything that you're willing to put in, it will tell you. You can't trust it completely. Like, people start to live by it and kind of be ruled by it. That was never my case. But what I saw right away was that my magnesium was more than handled. That I wanted 500 milligrams twice a day initially. As my hands began to improve, I reduced it to 250 twice a day. And now I don't even have to take magnesium in a pill form because I get it in my food. I wish you guys had the smallest understanding of the miracle here. If you are a person, and I recommend it. So I have a teacher friend who I was seeing shaking. Unfortunately, one of my sisters was so bad that she'd have to hold her hand to sign something. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? It's so awful. And what's worse is that it's curable. And again, if it's not technically cured, because again, this like runs in the body and chemical imbalance and all of the side effects or, the things that we recognize are being held at bay, which to me is practically the same thing as being cured. If you're not seeing that my hands are shaking, if you're not seeing that when I'm tired, overwhelmed, feel threatened, that I'm not doing this action, I consider myself healed. And again, if you're just starting a plant-based diet, I would highly recommend that you go ahead and just take the supplement, right, of 500 milligrams twice a day. I am not a doctor. It's my personal experience. As you add plant-based foods and a lot of leafy greens, which have terrific magnesium in them, as you add that, you could reduce it to 250. And if you experience the miracle I did, you can let it go completely. But I don't want to play. Like for me, I often claim vegan benefits, but then I realize, Jules, you've been off your plan, or you haven't been consistent for a really long time. You might want to slow down on claiming all of that. Meaning for myself, it doesn't mean that it's not completely true for those who live by the proper way of eating. But sometimes, like one time a couple months ago, I shared a video where I got super sunburned. And not getting sunburned is a great side effect of an alkaline diet, which plant-based vegans generally eat. And I'd been off mine and I got super sunburned. And I was like, be careful what you're claiming. So if I wasn't eating all those leafy greens, I would indeed have that supplement again. But I'm on and I am not shaking, and I'm stoked beyond belief. So for me personally, I believe an essential tremor or familial tremor can be greatly reduced, and that is magnesium in the diet. What do you think, you guys? I'd love to hear what you think. I'd love to know what you did for 4th of July. As always, like if you like, join us. If you haven't subscribed, let me know in the comments below how I may support you. If you get started on that magnesium, let me know a month from now. You know what I mean? Like, it's not an overnight cure, but in a couple of months when your body is getting stable and has enough magnesium, I know you'll see the difference. And that's what I was going to say about that teacher friend. Her hands are really shaky, and I recommended magnesium. The first benefit she said was that she's able to have regular bowel movements. I guess magnesium is a good one for that. I wasn't even aware, but I've never had a bowel movement problem. But she was like, hey, for being regular now in a way I never was, I'll stay with magnesium. And if the non-shaking comes about, she'll be even happier. All right, my friends, have a blessed, safe evening. And until we talk again, know that you're blessed.